Now, I would love your calls on this. Should penny farthing racing be in the Olympics? 0207 862 2222 is the number. Tell us what you think. I asked this after a clip of a penny farthing race from 1928 is once again doing the rounds on social media. If we can see this, it got me thinking maybe Team GB would actually be quite good at it. We've had some brilliant cyclists winning medals before, so why couldn't we give that a go too? Can we see the penny farthings going in a circle here? There we go. So that was an actual Olympic thing back in the 1920s, and they are coming back. Right, there are serious people who ride them now. In fact, you could say it's the mark of a serious person. All right, don't you laugh, Carol Malone. So, just have a look back here. So, back in the day, what are we looking at here? Looking at sports they had about 125 years ago. Back in the day, what do they have in the Olympics? You won't believe it. So, this is dueling, 1912, brilliant. Stockholm. Men taking part had to fire. Actually, not at each other. They would turn and fire at a mannequin dressed in a frock coat with a target painted on the chest, right? So these were Olympic duellers. This was not horse racing or horse jumping. It's actually the long jump for horses, right? This is a completely different event 124 years ago. Then we had this is an interesting one. This is like a version of Total Wipeout for swimmers. It's swimming, but with an assault course. So you throw these people into the river. They've got boats. Then they have these kind of floaters, they have floating logs they have to be on, and they have to dive and run and jump. And the Australian Fred Lane was the champion of the Olympic swimming obstacle course. OK, art was an Olympic sport as well. Painting and sculpture. The only problem is it was badly derailed when the Germans had the Olympics in 1936. And the arts thing was taken over by this guy who was Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's Minister for Propaganda. So that was all a very, very nasty end to it. We did have solo synchronized swimming in 84, 88, 92. Can you believe that? We had pigeon shooting as an Olympic sport. That guy was doing some pigeon shooting. This guy here was clipping a poodle because that was an Olympic sport as well, which is incredible. And the last one here, we had this at school. This is called the plunge. And the plunge, I think they should bring this back. So you dive in, you have to remain completely motionless, and you just see how far you can float. And I think as a television sport, that could be really amazing.
And they say civilization is going forward. I think we should go backwards and embrace some of these brilliant sports.
I could have mentioned the tug of war.
Yeah.
I could have mentioned the Olympic town planning contest, where you're given a lot of matchboxes and you have to create a town. So the key thing is whether we do the penny farthing. And to illustrate this, we have with us our favourite penny farthing writer, special guest, friend of the show, Robert Torto. Do come in and just remind us of the absolute beauty of the penny farthing. How are you, my friend?
Very well, yourself?
Good. And I remember last time we spoke, your penny farthing had just been stolen.
It had been.
Yeah. And the thief couldn't ride it, but he stored it somewhere, and you went around looking for it.
Indeed, I did.
Oh, look at that dismount. Oh, really? Now, would you like to see penny farthing as a sport?
I think it should be a sport.
Yeah.
I don't see why it shouldn't. Penny farthings were raced in Herne Hill Velodrome, so why shouldn't we...
We got a microphone. Oh, sorry, we haven't got a microphone. Here we go. Have we got a microphone for Robert? Oh, he is. OK. Go on. Say, you think Herne Hill Velodrome?
Herne Hill Velodrome in the 30s was a mecca for racing penny farthings. And there's a Hillingdon, the Pickwick Bicycle Club has a Hillingdon race in September.
Do you meet other penny farthing riders and you sometimes go out with them?
I do. I was at a penny farthing event yesterday in Brockenhurst. So
listen, you're preaching to the choir here. Carol is the one who needs converting, because you don't see this as a sport.
No,
you see this as mobile idiocy.
I know, I didn't say that.
Well, I am with Robert.
Only when you're...
Oh, only when I'm on it.
You nearly killed yourself last time. You fell off it. But I think it's more of a circus act than a sport. But the Olympic Charter says to be accepted as an Olympic sport, it has to be practiced in 75 countries and 4 continents.
Right, so that's fine.
Do we think... No. Is penny farthing practiced
coming
in
back,
75
Robert, isn't it?
It is. There's a race. There's a race in the States. There are races in Europe.
Yeah, but that's not 75 countries.
Oh,
it's well over 75 countries. We had Thomas Stevens, who rode around the world, the first cyclist to ride around the world on a penny farthing. The first cyclist to ride around the world.
I get it I think it's, and you look divine there, and I'm sure Mr. Vine
isn't he brilliant?
Look anywhere near as good.
The guy
as you look on
no,
the
I'm not. I couldn't do this tighter circle. It would worry me. I think I'm really admiring your skill. Because the thing about penny farthing, when you turn the handlebars, the front wheel turns, and you're sitting on top of it. Indeed. So you've got to part your legs.
You do.
But let's keep away from that. Phil?
That's a thing of great beauty, isn't
it?
And if there was an Olympic sport, Jeremy, you could be the team captain, couldn't you?
He really could.
The Olympics.
But what's amazing about the guys who ride the penny farthings, you'll know this, Robert, is they're breaking all the old records from the 1800s.
They are.
The penny farthing hour, how far you can go in 1 hour, 21 miles.
Right.
The speed, the fastest speed over a minute.
Can I ask the dangers? Because I know when he fell off it, he went into like a hole, like a divot in grass.
Yeah.
What would be the dangers of someone like you riding this? What could befall you?
It's not much more dangerous than a regular bicycle. The same vehicles doing the left hook issue that we have on roads here in London. Same issues of cars pulling out, pedestrians on their phones, walking in front of you. It's the same kind of issues that you have.
Is getting on it not a problem?
Not necessarily, not when you know how. So there's a step just here, so you stand on the step and you get on the seat.
Okay.
I want to give it a go.
And if I can ride it in a space this tight, imagine riding it around London.
Yeah.
Which I do on a regular basis.
Do you really?
This is my only mode of transportation.
No.
He came into the studio on it. Of course. Phil, what about other sports? What about tug of war? Because that's a good one.
Tug of war's a good one, isn't it? Let's just have historic Olympics and bring all those sports back.
But sports you don't need equipment for. That's the key thing. Egg and spoon. The three-legged race.
Wait, you need your equipment there.
Can you imagine? Derek in Northamptonshire, what do you think? Bring back a penny farthing event.
I'm sorry to say this, Jeremy, but good morning. I know you're a penny farthing enthusiast, I believe.
Yes, I am.
And my thought is we do not wish or do not want to add yet another sporting event to the long list of all manner of sporting events that are already on TV. I'm rather dismayed to see that the BBC is putting on Olympics from the crack of dawn till practically midnight. I don't like sport. I get bored with it in a few seconds.
I'm loving it.
And I don't want to pay a TV licence for sport.
Oh, really? Because the Olympics is an expensive old thing. But also some people have trained the whole of their lives, Derek, just to have 5 minutes on a track. You think you and I could give up 5 minutes of our time to watch the result of 20 years training?
Oh, 5 minutes wouldn't be too bad, but when you're talking about, as BBC are now doing, showing nothing but sport all day long and nothing else, I think that's...
Well, Phil wants a word.
It's only for 4 weeks, Derek. I mean, if you don't just switch over occasionally, and there's movies on the other side, and there are other channels available.
You think he's right? You think Derek's right?
It's cheap programming for the BBC.
I don't think it's that cheap.
They're sending the team
millions.
anyway, so they're broadcasting all day. But it's not great for everyone else who's sitting at home that doesn't
there are
like
other
sport.
channels available.
In the world.
Well, so you're telling people shouldn't watch the BBC?
No, I'm saying watch it and enjoy it, and then if you get a bit bored with it, Derek, and we all would probably...
Well, Derek, so he has flicked over because he's here.
I'm with Derek.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're with Derek, or you'd be somewhere watching in Paris. So, do you watch the Olympics?
I've been watching the Olympics, and breakdancing has been introduced into the Olympics.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of the cycling events. It's a great look.
And the athletics, Simone Biles,
and the gymnastics. So the swimming, the diving. It's great. It's great.
Suppose if we brought in the penny farthing, and I'm sensing a bit of momentum for this idea, we'd have to take a sport out, and that gets difficult. What would you take out?
I guess maybe take out some of the equestrian sport.
Oh, the dressage.
Yeah, the dressage.
I think the dressage might... We can't take out the dressage because I can't pronounce it.
I'm loving your look, Bert.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
We love
and the
Robert.
hair is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Incredible.
Listen, thank you for coming in.
No, I appreciate it.
They come in every day, Robert. Thank you.